At the beginning of the story, we see a storm rising from the sea. But today, the rain isn't water, it's plastic and other waste. In a car passing by on the road, we see Barbara and her daughter. Seeing this strange sight, Barbara calls her ex-husband. As soon as Buckley answers, he tells them to come back quickly. But halfway there, they get stuck in traffic. Barbara tells her daughter to run inside a nearby building. Standing outside, Buckley sees an anchor about to fall on his daughter. He rushes over and saves her. A little later, Barbara arrives, and the whole family is reunited. The authorities have no way to stop this strange situation. Everyone is just watching, the sky filled with plastic. Among the waste that came out of the ocean was the Titanic, which finally reached New York after 114 years. All these strange events began when some fishermen went out to sea. As they cast their net, they caught a sea creature along with the fish. Next, we see Buckley, who receives news of an oil leak in the ocean. He has to work with the British forces on a cleanup operation. On the way to the mission, he passes through London to drop his daughter, Kirby, safely with her mother. After saying goodbye to his daughter and ex-wife, he goes to the airport with Sergeant Hannah and boards a military plane. Soon he reaches a secret location where the dead body of that sea creature is kept. It is revealed that this creature was found about 3 miles from the shore. When the fishermen saw the monster coming out of the net, they shot it and tried to sell its body on the internet, but the colonel took action just in time. He covered up the case and bought the body so the army could conduct research on it. Pierce begins to say that these kinds of sea creatures are mentioned in ancient stories. Their species was called Homo Aqua. When scientists checked the body, they found a pearl under the creature's neck, exactly like the one found in previous specimens. To communicate with these deep-sea dwellers, the army set up camps in the mountains and sent signals using a machine. After dark, while others were sleeping, Morgan and Sarah were assigned to guard the body of the Homo Aqua. Around 2:30 a.m., they felt something was wrong. Suddenly, water started filling the ground, and as Sarah moved forward, she began to sink. Morgan tried to save her and reached out his hand, but something pulled Sarah down forcefully. A few seconds later, Morgan went down the same way. Before disappearing, he called for help, but the other soldiers didn't arrive in time. Furthermore, the body was stolen. The alarm went off, and all the soldiers woke up. When the general reached the tent, he couldn't find Morgan or Sarah. When he tried to talk to them on the radio, he discovered the radio was underground. After the monsters left, the ground became hard again. When Pierce leaned down to check, he found Morgan's hand. At that moment, Buckley realized he had been sent on a very dangerous mission. He asked, "What creature is this?" Hannah explained that their team's job is to try to communicate with unknown beings. But these Homo Aqua are not aliens. They have lived on Earth since before humans, and were under the sea for thousands of years. But now they have awakened again and want to take back the planet. That night, the army saw a Homo Aqua coming toward the beach. The general told his soldiers to lower their guns because he wanted to talk. With the help of a translation device, Pierce spoke to the creature and invited it to a meeting. The creature was very angry because one of its people had been killed by fishermen. To this, Pierce replied that he had also lost 2 soldiers. After this, both sides made a peace agreement so they would stop killing each other. Even after the agreement, the fishman said that his people were tired of living in hiding. At that moment, people in every country in the world saw the Homo Aqua appearing for the first time. They claimed they lived here before humans. This is their world too. The first official meeting between the 2 species took place in London. For this meeting, a bridge called Waterway was built, connecting land and water. When everyone was in place, Kate ordered the engineers to start the waterway. Along with the Homo Aqua, 3 other very strange creatures arrived: a large fish, a mermaid, and a woman who looked like a human. In a short time, Salt, the woman, learned the human language and began to understand the ambassador. At the start of the meeting, Salt explained why she had come. A while ago, her children were about to be born, but the oil spilled from human ships made that place poisonous. To keep the meeting calm, Jonathan said, "We want to correct our mistake." But Salt ignored him. She said she would only talk to Burke, because he was the only human who showed respect for the dead Homo Aqua, to find out why the Homo Aqua wanted Buckley as their ambassador. Kate questioned him and scrutinized every story of his life. The attempt to make Jonathan the ambassador between the 2 species failed, because Salt only wanted to talk to Burke. Therefore, the president of their unit told Burke, "I will prepare you for this opportunity." Arriving at the hotel where Burke was going to stay, he saw very tight security. His daughter and ex-wife were already in his room. Barbara was shocked when she learned Burke had been chosen for negotiations with the Homo Aqua. Meanwhile, Kate was thinking about what they would do if war broke out. At the scheduled time, Burke went to meet the Homo Aqua. After initial talks, Salt asked the committee members for a glass of water from the River Thames. Agents immediately went to get the water. As soon as the glass of water arrived in the room, Burke tried to give it to Salt, but Salt said, "This water is for you." Hearing this, Burke was shaken. He didn't know what to do. Instead of drinking the water, he began to give a speech written on the screen. But when Salt said, "I don't want this rehearsed speech," the ambassador dropped the script and said that the contamination of water and soil is the result of human foolishness. Admitting his people's mistake, Burke said, "Humans have ruined the earth, but now they want to fix the damage." Hearing this, Salt said, "I like you." That night in the hotel room, Burke saw his daughter coming and understood she couldn't sleep. The truth was, she was worried about her father. When Buckley saw his daughter wasn't looking well, he said, "I'll send you back home tomorrow so you aren't stuck in this hotel." Hearing this, Kirby said, "I want to stay with my dad." The next morning, during their third meeting, Burke explained that leaders of all countries have talked to climate scientists and private companies, and we are trying to make a plan to improve the dirty condition of the sea. According to numbers and data, the conclusion is that by the year 2065, we can reduce pollution by 50%. But when Salt found out that reducing just 50% of pollution would take 40 years, she completely rejected the proposal. She said, "Our people are dying every day because of your negligence." Salt said their people can't even see or hear properly now. They are in trouble because you are polluting so much. Burke felt she was absolutely right. He had no option but to apologize. He then said that if both species work together on this mission, it might happen faster. To this, Salt said if they start helping, it will be very fast. Suddenly a storm began, and many countries saw changes in the sea at the same time. All the trash humans had thrown into the sea that day came back onto the land. Plastic and lots of dirty items began to fall from the sky, and now the story reached where it began. Even after so much damage to countries worldwide, Buckley continued negotiations with the sea people because humans knew they couldn't win such a war. The good thing was that Salt was still ready to talk, but she said, "I will only find peace if humans accept 3 conditions. First condition, no pollution of any kind should enter the sea, and stop sailing your ships. Second condition, direct borders should be made between land and sea, so humans do not enter the ocean. Because humans are made to live on land, they should not go into the sea or the sky near it." Hearing this, the committee members got angry because this would cut off people living on all continents from each other. When Salt saw the humans in the room getting more angry, she changed her voice and took the form of a man to control them. As soon as people calmed down and went back to their seats, Salt returned to her original form. Then she began to state the third condition necessary for peace. She gave some sea coordinates and said the next meeting would be there. This didn't just mean going out to the far sea. Burke would have to dive 5 miles down to meet the Homo Aqua in their home. The next challenge was that going to such a depth is very difficult because the water pressure 5 miles down is immense. To this day, no submarine has been built that can dive 5 miles deep. Anyway, Burke boarded the vessel with General Pierce and his team. Their hatch was completely sealed with bolts. After launch, it took about 2.5 hours for the submarine to reach the meeting point. During the journey, the 6 passengers talked among themselves about what they would do if they survived and went home. When Burke saw a man named Tad was very scared, he tried to calm him down. While encouraging his companions, Burke somehow composed himself too. A few minutes later, their submarine stopped. Pierce tried to talk to his team to say they had reached the bottom, but there was no response. After a while, the team felt the submarine was moving very fast, but no one understood what was happening because their contact with the surface was completely broken. While checking the external pressure, they realized the pressure here was just like on land, which should be completely impossible because they were technically 5 miles down. Suddenly, the submarine shook, and all the lights went out. After that, everyone put on oxygen masks. When the hatch opened, everyone was shocked because water didn't come inside the submarine at all, so they decided to step out. Outside, they saw they were inside a cave where the temperature was 21 degrees Celsius and there was plenty of oxygen in the air. While the team was amazed by the place, Salt appeared. She said, "You are the first humans to reach this depth." This environment was prepared specifically for them, so they could remove their oxygen masks. Salt took them to a meeting room where people of her species had gathered to decide the future of the land and sea. That night, Kate received a call from a member of her team. She learned there had been coded talks between diplomats of several countries. While talking on the phone, a sniper attacked Kate, but her boyfriend gave his life to save her. At the same time, Tad, the only diplomat who hadn't removed his oxygen mask, gave Salt a gift. When Burke realized the globe was actually just a cover and something else was inside, he lunged to take it away from Salt, but the bomb exploded. Many fishermen were killed in this blast, and all the members of Burke's team died. Only Burke survived, because Salt saved him. While sending a squad on Kate's mission, Shirley received news of the deaths of the diplomats on the mission and immediately told the media. After the news, the world was shown a video in which it appeared that Salt had intentionally killed Burke and his team, and that this would be the fate of any human who goes into the sea. But the truth was that this video was fake, and the government did this to increase hatred between the two species. Swimming toward the surface at high speed, Salt saw that a helicopter had been sent to save Burke. As soon as Burke reached land, he explained that the reason for the blast was Tad. Kate believed Burke but said she would have to interrogate Salt. For the time being, Salt was taken into custody. Kate quickly set out to find who had paid the man. That man had stage 4 cancer and would do anything to complete this mission. Because of Salt's sharp understanding, her species was not blamed. But now she was locked in a steel box. Knowing his friend would be locked in a lab for experiments, Burke took action. Taking the truck keys, he reversed the vehicle and dropped the box into the river. As soon as Salt was free, Burke jumped into the water himself, and Salt saved him. That night, the Homo Aqua called a new meeting at the Imperial House. This time, instead of Salt, a seaman named Tide came. He started saying, "How have humans become so crazy that they had their own people killed in an explosion?" When Kate apologized to him, Tide asked, "Where is Salt?" He said, "For us, she is a traitor. She saved a human instead of her own people." When he found out Salt had escaped with Burke's help and was now missing, Tide ordered, "Find her and bring her back. If this doesn't happen, the real war starts now." While the whole city was searching for them, Salt and Burke were hiding in an anonymous warehouse. Salt was celebrating her freedom. Talking to Burke, she asked, "Why did you risk your life?" Then, suddenly, they kissed each other. The truth was they had fallen in love, but Buckley was still worried about Salt. He said, "You should go back to the sea." But Salt knew that if she went, her own people would call her a traitor and kill her. After hearing all this, Burke concluded they must leave the city. He took his partner's help and stole a young boy's mobile phone so he could talk to Barbara, his ex-wife, because she was perhaps the only one who could help them now. But instead of helping Burke, Barbara shared the call with government agents and called them to a place to meet so Burke could be caught. When Burke saw Barbara was packing the car, he ran toward the bridge with Salt, and there they were surrounded. At that moment, a man from Kate's team revealed that the video of Salt starting a war against humans was fake. Hearing this, Kate ordered her soldiers to retreat. But General Gunsberg insisted, "Stop that woman." As soon as Kate realized the general might even kill Salt if necessary, she ordered her team, "Change your target quickly and point your guns at the British soldiers." Just as the two armies were about to clash, Salt let out a very loud scream and jumped into the river. That night, the Homo Aqua began to make a sound that brought all the dogs from the cities near the sea to the beach, and then they caught them using fishing nets. The next day, when asked about the animals, Tide said, "We ate them, just like humans eat the fish of the sea." After seeing satellite images, scientists discovered that the Homo Aqua are actually melting the glaciers. If nothing changes, Antarctica will lose 300 billion tons of ice every year. If that happens, the sea level will rise by 1,600 feet in a short time, and almost all humans will drown. Now Jonathan began talking to Tide about a way to save humanity. To this, the fisherman said, "Humans have only 5 years to completely fix the planet. If the damage isn't fixed in that time, the entire human species will be eliminated. You people are simply not worthy of living on this planet." Elsewhere, authorities were deciding what to do with Burke, and he was kept under surveillance in a hotel room. One day, after eating, Buckley suddenly fainted, and scientists entered his room. While he was sleeping, they gave him an injection and took his fingerprints so he could be framed later under false charges. As soon as the scientists left, Burke regained consciousness and secretly went toward the beach, hoping to find Salt. After sunrise, the fishwoman appeared, and Burke ran to her. He was happy to know she was alive. Instead of running away with him, Salt told him, "Ask for a new agreement with Tide. Otherwise, his people will destroy the entire human race." Saying this, Salt spoke of leaving. Before going, she kissed Burke and went back into the sea. Buckley immediately went to Kate and her team to send a message to Tide, but unfortunately, there was no response. A few days later, millions of Homo Aqua corpses were found on coasts worldwide. Tests revealed they had been infected with a disease that blocked their gills, which they used to breathe in water, and they drowned. The strange thing was that only the Homo Aqua were affected. All other sea creatures were perfectly fine. Hearing this, Kate concluded that this was perhaps a human-made virus, and she regretted not understanding earlier. That day, Kate's team received a distress signal from the depths of the sea, and Burke was called for a meeting again. When he found out Salt was coming to talk to him, he cried with joy and could barely stop himself from hugging her. The end of the war was announced. Salt revealed that only 10% of their population remained. She said, "The water itself will punish whoever carried out this cowardly attack." To rebuild relationships between the two species, Kate used her mind and chose a special place. She told them, "You can all live here. This is the deepest sea in the world. There is no human filth there, nor anything else." Before leaving, Salt showed the sad end of her friend. She said, "Our people are ending the fight because those who are left are very afraid of human evil. We cannot compete with humans, because being cunning like humans is not in our nature." Then, as the Homo Aqua left, cracks began to appear in the glass panels of the Great Hall that keep the water out. Everyone tried to get out in a panic. Burke stayed calm, waiting for his end, but Hannah saved him. That day, Kate received the results of Burke's medical tests and found out his DNA had changed. Now his genes had become like the Homo Aqua. Knowing this, Kate decided he should be taken to the sea so he could meet Salt again. After kissing Salt, gills suddenly appeared on Buckley, allowing him to breathe underwater. Now he had the chance to choose his fate, and he decided he would stay in the sea with Salt.